G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an anti-armor Gauss Minigun with 25% faster fire rate and 90% reduced weight. You also notice how we've got the pentabarrel because I want to crank that rate of fire up basically as fast as I can get. So, what's news in the Fallout 76 scene at the moment? Well, Minerva's giving out plans for the Gauss Minigun. I don't think a lot of mods come with it, just the Gauss Minigun itself. You can go pretty well with it, but I think it really looks better with the custom barrels. The tri-barrel looks okay, but I think the pentabarrel looks the best on this. And in the spirit of Minerva being able to drop this, I may as well have a showcase. I'm not going to tell you how many rolls it actually took me to get this, though. That would kind of ruin the I guess, hype of trying to get one of these yourself. So if you've got a heavy gunner build, pick one of these up, have a bit of fun with it. They're not the greatest weapons in the game. They've got a couple of problems, but, you know, a little bit of content for you to enjoy, I suppose, is never a bad thing. 63 damage at the moment. We're going to beef it up a little bit using heavy gunner, also heavy gunner, and we're going to rip that off, and that one, we've got stabilized. We want to have Demo Expert, not going to be utilizing Nerd Rage, so we'll have 3 ranks of Gunsmith to keep this thing kicking for a bit longer. We'll chuck on Bloody Mess. We've got Ricochet, 1 gun army for crippling. Grenadier might help, maybe. Who knows? We'll have to find out when we shoot a Scorchbeast to see if that actually will do damage. We've also got Dodgy and Action Girl for tanking in power armor. My power armor is overreading. I'm not wearing that now, but we'll see in a little bit. So yeah, we've got 115 damage, which is pretty good. Now keep in mind, once we jump in this power armor, we're getting stabilized, and that's going to synergize with the anti-armor prefix of this one quite well. You'll notice all of this is overreaders except for the helmet because you can't apply legendary effects to that. Let's slip into something more comfortable, eh? So here we are outside of Minerva's slave trade. And if you're wondering why I said that, do you actually buy her story about her being a human photocopier? No, she's trading in something that the Secret Service like, and that's slavery. Unfortunately, for the super mutants, they're all slaves to Minerva, which means they gotta die. I don't really know where I'm going with this. But I just sort of wanted to come out here, firstly, just so I could check out the range on this thing, because it's got stabilized, it's got a decent spread. I think the minigun itself, just a regular ballistic primitive minigun, is a little bit more accurate. There's a little bit of recoil bouncing the weapon around a bit, but it's nothing too much. That guy was shooting his laser rifle directly into that infantry fighting vehicle. What a dumbass. We've got enough to get a lot of damage on them when we headshot, which is something we should be aiming to do. The recoil is not enough to actually try to ward off the headshots there. That's not a pun for settlers either. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. Definitely feeling this at the moment, but against regular mobs this thing never really had a problem. We'll head inside. Okay, so we should be right, just hip fire this thing because we'll be at extreme close quarters, so the spread on this thing is going to be very small, especially when we crouch. We don't need to, but it's an option. Yeah, looks like we can fill up the entire crosshair with just their heads if we stand still. So we'll endeavor to do that for good DPS and stuff. The Gauss Minigun takes up a lot of your screen space. It's not a pretty looking weapon, but it gets the job done. And if you're looking at your targets more and what you're shooting at, and being blinded or possibly sent into a seizure by the Gauss explosions that are flashing on your screen, then I guess the appearance of this weapon isn't really that bad. We'll keep going. Should be a couple of dogs in here if I haven't pulled them out already. Just kind of vibing in the corner there. That's the dog kennel. I wonder if there's... Never mind, let's not go there. So, can't really say anything bad about this weapon. The TTK on this thing is certainly doing a good job, and I'm going to smash you until you're dead. Can't be bothered spinning up the barrel again. There we go. Bash damage, not my strong suit in this particular build, despite, you know, being backed by a bunch of hydraulic metal-plated arms. No bash damage for you. You bump them across the nose, it's like slapping them with the back of your hand. That's how much damage it does. Got a legendary. We'll definitely leave that one. It'd be kind of nice to have a set of Godroll T45 because you never see people using it, right? There's all these skins for T45, but you can't utilize it because it's just so statistically inferior. I've got Strangleheart though, and it's kind of hard to justify getting anything other than that. Especially if you've got an Overeater Sentinel set of it with AP refresh. That'd be unreal. So we're making real short work of these guys with the amount of damage reduction we've got. It's just 30 right now, but you know, they get eaten by the damage reduction first. Then we gotta talk about the power armor's resistance itself. They're not going to be killing me anytime soon. If I stood there still, it'd probably take them a good solid 5 minutes for them to kill me. Maybe ghouls can do better? Let's find out. I think one of the biggest drawbacks of the Gauss Minigun is the fact that you just have to use this perk if you're running the Gauss Minigun. Otherwise, you'll quickly get weighed down by all of the ammo that you're carrying. It's not like a Gauss shotgun where you can carry a few at one time and you'll be able to extend the use of those ammos out for a long time. You go through those very quickly. If I even think about removing the batteries included, my legs break right away. So let's not do that. Now we're going to hold the line here against the ghouls. We've got Strangleheart to wake them all up. So we'll go and do the rounds again. And we'll have a little fun activity of just holding them in a corner and blasting them. We've got a decent mag size. It's kind of standard for a weapon like this. Definitely something you wouldn't want quad with. And if you've got a quad Gauss Minigun, quickly swap it out for something else because you're in the costing yourself a lot of potential damage. Because this thing, it's not the most efficient with the ammo that you get. If you want a really efficient approach to a 2mm EC, Gauss rifles are great. Gauss shotguns are insane because they've got a slightly better sustained DPS, you see. But these ones, they're thirsty, boys, and you don't get as much bang for your buck. Barely any. That being said, if you can gather a bunch of ghouls in one place and other enemies, you'll notice that I'm throwing a bunch of extra numbers around. That's the explosive projectiles doing some good work. There were so many ghouls on the stairs that they broke each other's pathing. That's how many there were. So that's good. Held the line fairly pleasantly. I don't think I've been hit except for the times when I was doing the old rounds of the joint. I think there's a deer over there. Saw it walking backwards. What's going on over there? Yeah, Bambi's under attack. We better save them. It's a zombie apocalypse, Bambi. Get out of here. I think it's too late. Zombie Bambi will rise. So if I went for basic explosive damage on these guys, it'd take a lot. If I were to shoot them once with a Gauss shotgun, that's it. They're dead in one bullet. But you have to use a lot of ammo just to keep this thing going, which is the biggest... the biggest flaw, I think, if at least that is if it actually works against Scorchbeast now, which remains to be seen. What they could do with this thing to make it a little bit more fun and versatile and a little bit more efficient is just make it do a shit ton more damage, but like take like most of its ammo capacity away. Like make it cap out at 120, but do twice or maybe even thrice the damage that it does now, and you've got a really hard-hitting but not as thirsty in comparison because you don't have to use all of the ammo to actually kill stuff. You'll have like a really powerful DPS. It'd be kind of like an energy version, a rotary barrel version of an LMG. Kind of bridge the gap in a way, because right now I don't really see any reason to use this, especially against Scorchbeast Queens at the moment, as compared to just a basic Gatling Plasma. The Gatling Plasmas themselves having just the 1 pound, or whatever the weight of the core is, and then I think it's 1 pound usually, isn't it? Something like that. But it's got all of those shots in it, 350 per pound, which is a lot more than what you can get out of this thing. So if they could tweak the numbers and turn it into a weapon that is actually worth using, it does something different, bring something new to the table, we might have a little bit more of an interesting time seeing what its capabilities are. Also might make quad a competent role in it if it only has such a limited ammo capacity. So, you know, that's cool. Alright, time to splice crabs in half. Using magnetically inducted projectiles. We don't need no gunpowder here. I wonder if you could probably... I mean, all of the gunpowder and stuff has oxidize in it, so you can fire them in space, but the Gauss shotgun you could probably fire in space a bit easier. I wonder if plasma would work good in space. Maybe. Lasers would. Lasers would work good anyway, really. We're being spat on with high velocity sonic rounds, but that's okay. We've got the sneak attack critical on this one. We can trace the damage around him a little bit. We've got the follow through bonus. Oh, yeah, you picked the wrong gun, mate. Maybe you didn't. That took ages to kill him. So glad I'm doing this in the PTS right now because I have gone through so many rounds to accomplish what the Gauss shotgun could do in a mere fraction of it, you know? I just don't rate this weapon, unfortunately. Alright, there's our follow-through bonus. We'll try to crack its legs open. Don't read too much into that. I was trying to cripple its legs and make it fall over because I find that amusing. I don't want to fuck a Milo Queen, alright? Have I got that clear? Cool. Alright, let's see if the serial whiff master and yeah, ammo-intensive nonsense can kill these Scorchbeasts. We had a little bit of success. There's a bit of rubber banding that went on with the Milo Queen, but it's pretty standard. I am in a slow-ass server, so that might give you an idea of what we're capable of doing. But it's been fairly good. And I am popping this down. Now I can see you bastards above the grass. Haha. I like how they just stand there. You're not making it desperately hard on me. Especially the melee ones are just kind of... You running away? Kinda. You don't know what you're doing, do you? Well, if nothing else, we've got adrenaline by now. Not cool, Scorchbeast. Not cool. He missed all of that piss. I mean, it seems more effective against Scorchbeast. There was no bouts of just hitting them for nothing, so that's good. Might have to queen test this, or, you know, use it in Scorched Earth solo, just to see if I can actually do much with it. And yes, the prime receiver finally kicking in here. Obviously. We did a lot better against that Scorchbeast, despite being at a further range we did against the Milo Queen, even with the use of the follow-through perk. Seems like such a waste until you get like 10 seconds of plus 40% multiplicative damage. It adds up. It adds up pretty nicely. You, however, are linked in with the rest of your faction, being the Scorch, so you ain't gonna fall for that nonsense. We'll go floating a little bit, chase them down in the air. Alright. It's a shame that, like, the Gauss weapons wouldn't have a higher velocity than just the conventional ammunition, because you'd think that they would, you know, being electromagnetic particles fired at speed of sound like little baby rail guns. So it's unfortunate that that isn't reflected, and because at range, lasers would be the best because they travel at the speed of light, you see. Okay, that was subtle. You got the jump on me today, did ya? You did. And we're hitting them for over 100 damage when they're up close. I want to see if I can get them to land. I don't have a shotgun on me to mess around with that. Might actually get a land. Alright. Pop a fresh mag in. Well, there was some rubber banding there, but the server eventually caught up with me, which was great. But yeah, that was some actually half-decent time to kill. Very nice. Alright. Good job, Gauss Minigun. You managed to impress me even a little bit, despite your obvious glaring flaws. Well, I'll be honest, I still rate the Gauss shotgun over this, but I can appreciate improvement when I see it. The thing hasn't changed except for I'm using the Grenadier perk to make the explosions a bit bigger, which allegedly works on Gauss things, and generally you can test this by shooting Scorchbeast, and if it works against them, then you're home free. That's all good. So, yeah. Still, honestly, wouldn't recommend it. And everyone who's run to their computers or possibly consoles to grab the Gauss miniguns wouldn't be hearing me saying this because I've turned the video off already. But there are better options. Don't rate it. Get a Gauss shotgun instead. You'll, I mean, if you're strength-based build anyway, if you've got heavy guns, you can easily just pivot to shotguns at will. And honestly, this is an immensely inferior weapon, unfortunately. It just needs to be a little bit better on its ammo. you could possibly make it better on ammo by using different barrels, but I didn't want to compromise on DPS. Yeah, it's just kind of it, really. Just the ammo issue here. Even now, if I decide to get rid of me batteries included perk, look at that. Straight over capacity. I guess what they could do in the background is maybe just reduce the weight of these things, because back when they originally had this, there was no such thing as Gauss shotguns. You only had Gauss rifles, and they were big, beefy guns with very heavy ammo, and it doesn't really translate super well, to be honest. It's, wait, do these weigh half a pound each? Or is it like, who even knows, right? I think the ultra sight ones, no, it's like a, no, not even close. Got my maths off a little bit there, but I think the ultra sight ones are heavier than the regular ones, or is it the other way around? Either way, still wouldn't recommend using it. It's unfortunate, but if you've got one and you got a good one, you want to take it for a spin, and you feel like you're purging a few thousand of these bad boys from your inventory, be my guest. If you want to cut down so you've got just over 1,000 or maybe even 500 to use a Gauss shotgun with these rounds more effectively, then go for it. Thank you very much for watching, guys.